Hi, this is Reverend Leora, and I'm here today to introduce you to a very special, beautiful lady. Her name is Loll, and an unusual name for an unusual woman with an unusual presentation. So I'm going to move out of the way and allow this beautiful presence, this living spirit, to just bring forth her message about spirituality. Here we go.
Well, my name is Loll Washburn, and I got into this work in 1971. And it was through my sister, who had passed away in '69, that she pushed from her side to the earth plane to get me interested. So I went for my first reading from this ordained minister who didn't live too far from me in the San Fernando Valley. And she was a crackerjack. Oh, and she said she hadn't been feeling good, and in that half hour, I heard so much stuff I didn't know anybody knew I was any place except home, taking care of the kids and doing the dishes and cooking and doing all the things women did. At any rate, my sister kept pushing and pushing, and when I went to the first service, I thought, oh my goodness, is this nice? You're not condemned about anything. This was to give you life to think about within your soul. And I was interested, and so I went 3 times and I joined this religion, Spiritualism. Now, what we do is deal with the percentage of situations of those that have gone on who feed us, inspirationally so. Clairsentience is what it's called, because you sense these things to say. And it comes out from each medium or healer, whoever is working, or the one giving their lecture. But in this process, you are learning about, you will enter the next expression one day. That's God's laws. And God's laws do not deviate and fit for man the way man wants it. It is always steady and firm. There is never any question. This is the way it works. The more you can learn about the next expression, the more happy you become, because you're not afraid. It takes away all fear, because you're going home. And God, we've been told, is love. If God is so much love, why do some people fear God? I can't understand that part. But for myself, I always was sensitive as a little girl, and I didn't know what it was. So when somebody would say something in their tone of voice that was a little harsh, I ended up in tears, because it seemed like they crushed me. Well, when I learned you could use your sensitivity and you can give to other people wholesomely. Now, when you give a reading as a certified medium does, you're not going to hear everything that is peaches and cream. Things do come up that are said, and you find you must be careful how you say it, because people get their feelings hurt. Therefore, you rework what they bring you, sometimes very harsh and certainly direct. It just comes straight down the line. But when you do that, you tell them, take it home and think about it. And you may find, oh gosh, that is the way I act. That is what I do. Nobody is erased. We are all human beings with feelings. We all have a good side and we have a stubborn side. And we know what we feel within, and the best thing is to bring that within out to give to other people so they can learn and enjoy. My ride for all these many years with the work of the Spirit has all come so subtle that I never feel like a big change. It just happens. And it is so beautiful. Sometimes, as talking to my friend the other day on the phone, and I said to her, I have a male vibration. Did you know anybody by the name of Dwight? And she squealed, and I said, also there's a letter D. I know there's a male vibration around you. And she told me Dwight was her first boyfriend, which obviously had passed in the world of spirit. She hadn't heard many years. The D that she said, there was a young man coming that day who was a maintenance man, and his name was David. And I said, well, thank you, dear spirit friends. That pleased me. Now, we do have guides, teachers, doctors, and healers who work with us all the time spiritually. You are never alone, although you're alone in the room many times, or driving your car. Many times we talk within. And when we do that, we are reaching to higher forces. And that's what we always want to do. Help me to understand what I don't get. I think sometimes in our stubborn ways, we are stuck in ourselves, in our own way. We're not about to bend. It isn't time. But when the time is right, it comes in smooth as silk. And you never have to think, that made me nervous, oh, I was afraid. It just worked so beautifully, and you're always rewarded. God brings us gifts in untold amounts. These gifts are intangible. So is God. God is the spirit of all mankind. God is the master over the universe. Therefore, you don't toy with him at anything you're doing. The one thing you learn always, you cannot lie or fib or excuse yourself. That is intolerant. But God shows us when we do make a mistake that we will have to wake up to it. We're not always hurt physically, spiritually, but it just is like an alarm goes off and, oh my God, I don't want to do that again. So our learning is so beautiful. It comes gradually to each one that cares. That's what spirit and spiritualism does for us. I feel very wealthy these days, not financially, but in my age bracket, which is, I am 87 at this point. But you know, I have felt like I've had a bumpy ride. But I tell you, I'm having a grand slam finish. Whenever they take me home, I will be as happy to see and be rewarded for all those that made it before me. And so it is.
My goodness, what a time this has been. And I know you enjoyed it. And I also know that you gleaned so much richness from this experience, being in the moment of spirit. So again, thank you for coming. Thank you for listening. Thank you for showing up. And mostly take the words that you have been inspired by to heart and then into action, and let Spirit be your guide. How beautiful you are. And Happy New Year. Happy 2014. Live a gracious life of the Year of the Horse and have fun. Bless you. Bye-bye.